up? What up? Welcome to the Crown and Stitch podcast, the official Fitted Hats podcast that you need in your life. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's not even a podcast. I guess it's a video podcast, a vodcast. What do you call it? I don't know. What's good, y'all? How you guys doing?
It's a podcast.
Still a podcast.
Videocast. What's up, man? How you doing? Glad to be back with the two of you. It's been, I feel like I say this every time, but it's been a minute since all three of us been on. So glad you guys are here. Glad I'm here.
My apologies. I've been in the process of moving, as you can see. But yeah, we'll get
got a whole new setup coming.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's what we're going to get into on this episode. It's kind of going to be a random show. We're going to talk a little bit about moving, some of our strategies, tips and tricks, if you will. But first, I just want to hear from Keith because he's fresh off the fire. What is it? The Pocky
the one chip
challenge.
The one chip challenge. First of all, don't do it. It's not smart. I was getting ready to set up for the podcast. I was grabbing some stuff and I found the box in my room right next to the hat that I have of yours, Nick. And I was like, you know what? It was actually Todd that said in the Discord. He's like, hey, if anyone wants to grab it and, we'll eat it on the community call or whatever. And that was like a month or two ago. So I ended up buying one and it was sitting there. And then I found it and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just go for it. So I broke off a little corner for my girl and I ate the rest. And first of all, it tastes like shit. It doesn't taste good. It was really stale. It's packaged up and stuff, but it was stale and nothing helps the heat. Like it just lingers. Like I'm cool with something that's really, really hot like that. But the fact that it was a prolonged like 15, 20 minutes of excruciating pain. And wash your hands after. I had to go to the bathroom and, I had to remind myself that
oh, wow.
Don't want to be touching nothing down there without thoroughly washing your hands. So, yeah, word of advice.
That could be really bad, dude. Oh, man.
Really bad.
Thank God you saved yourself.
Yeah. I was in such a frenzy. You know what I mean? I almost didn't remember, but
all in the name of rushing to get on the podcast for the listeners. It's the dedication. Man, you guys tried Varian's hot sauce, right? Kicks with V hot sauce.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I tried the basic ones. He pulled out the Carolina Reaper one. I was like, I'm afraid to buy this shit, dude. What am I going to do with that?
I got one more funny story. Hold on, real quick.
Oh, Lord.
I keep a bunch of hot sauces in the fridge, and that's one of them, the Carolina Reaper from V's Hot Sauces. And my mom, we ran out of like Tapatio and Cholula and stuff, and she was like, no. I'm going to just, grab whatever. This one looks pretty full. And she was making her lunch for work. And so she said she was eating her lunch at work and it ruined the food. She said she couldn't eat it. She was, she was like, what was that? Well, my bad, Mom.
I mean, to be fair, that hot sauce has got some kick to it. I got to go really light on it, or I got to make sure that it's mixed in. Like it's actually pretty good on like some ramen or something like that where I can.
It's perfect with ramen, yeah. Mix
it in a lot, but I don't know how Varian, he's like next level with that. So if you haven't, he's been on the Industry Special podcast, which Dexter's back in the mix. He got some new episodes on the way. So he's been on there a couple times. And actually I'll put a link to his site in the description because there's a 10% off code you can use that he hooked up the sneaker history community with. So but yeah, definitely I actually like the I don't know if you guys got it, but when he came out with that hot honey.
Oh yeah, I still got that. Yeah.
Yep. I got some too.
Yep.
My favorites are the hot honey,
and
the pineapple kicks with V's.
The pineapple
one is it? Yeah.
Yeah. Good stuff. All right. Well, I guess I don't need to try the one chip challenge. I've not even really thinking about what you do with your hands afterwards. I feel like that. What is that? What do I do with my hands? You think from
Ricky Bobby.
Ricky Bobby. Yeah. But yeah, I'm good with that. I'll still stay clear of that one for sure. I got one pickup that is a couple months back that I want to share.
Sure.
And then we'll get into the moving thing. And it's kind of food related in a weird way. Not in like it's a picture of a burrito or something. Exactly. But this colorway looks like some bacon Air Max 90s, right?
Oh yeah, that's a nice fucking.
So I
hat,
picked
dude.
this up.
This is the one you just randomly found in the box.
Yeah, I picked it up like a month or two ago from ECAP City. White guts. I mean, it's a clean, nothing too crazy.
I like the white guts.
The 2000 side patch on it, but I don't have bacon 90s. So
what?
This was a terrible decision because now I have to get bacon Air Max 90s, right? I mean, I don't know.
Or just get some Air Max and throw some bacon on them. Watch all the neighborhood dogs chase you.
Yeah.
They're probably for what, like about retail, right? Like, I mean, I'm sure. I mean, after the last drop, they weren't that expensive, were they?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think they're probably above retail still, or now they are probably, but
yeah.
Hopefully they're not too crazy.
I am searching currently.
I would have assumed you would have had the OG
What size
pair.
are you? 13?
13, yeah.
You can get a pair for $168, baby.
Oh, that's not too bad. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I never got the originals, man. I wanted them, but never got them.
Sounds like you're going to have another new pickup soon.
Yeah, definitely. That's going to be my kicks and fit for a future episode for sure.
Speaking of kicks and fits, don't you have one for us?
Keith, you got one? You could start us off.
You know what? I was in a frenzy, so I grabbed the first thing off the top box and the first shoe or the first hat in the container. Starfish 13s. Have I showed these off already?
I think so.
I don't think so.
I think so.
I don't know.
Classic Giants hat. If I did, I'm sorry. Like I said, the brain wasn't firing on all cylinders at the moment, but
you got that heat. You got that hot brain.
Dude, it was bad, bro.
Hey, but we can't be expected to show only one new thing every single time, right? Like, that's just not realistic.
Exactly.
We got to keep it 100 with people because, look, I'm lazy, man. I wear the same hat, the same shoes, like 3-4 days a week sometimes. So,
what's that hoodie though? What's that hoodie you got on there?
It's Prospect.
Oh, I like that.
My friend Justin's shop down in San Diego. Yeah, actually, we didn't talk about what we're wearing either. So, I got the San Francisco Seals Pacific Coast League orange and black version. Shared this one a few weeks back on the show. What do you guys
side
rocking?
Patch?
Nah,
clean
as is.
So I just moved, and Seal Stadium is 3 blocks from where I live currently. So rest in peace to that place. But this is a Oakland Oaks hat. Old school Pacific Coast League. I think they played in Embryville, amongst other places. Old school, obviously, old hat club pin. It's like 2015, 2016. I just couldn't find my Kings hat. Go Deer and Fox. He'll come back. So I had to find a blue hat to match. So, yeah.
That's not bad. I like that one. I have on the this is the Birmingham Barons. The Southern League side patch. Yeah.
Was that green or gray on the underbill?
This is like a turquoise. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, it's like
in between
like
gray and green.
Yeah, it's like a mint color. And the thing I didn't know about this hat, the front logo and the side patches glow in the dark too. I was in the movies and I was like, what the hell? But yeah, that's
what were you watching?
Funny.
What'd you go see?
I saw a couple movies recently. I saw Smile. That actually was really good. That was pretty scary. I also saw Pray for the Devil on Halloween. So that was meh. I
never heard any of these movies.
They're semi recent, but the Pray for the Devil is kind of like one of those exorcist type, demon possessed movies, and I don't really usually mess with that type of stuff. But it was Halloween, so not bad. It was decent. But if you want to go get scared, watch Smile. That was a good movie.
Smile. All right, let me look this shit up.
So Dex, you said you have new pickups, but you just they're kind of
I don't know where they're at, dude. They're scattered everywhere. Like I have shit. Like obviously you can see this, right? You got couch over here, and I got my palletized shoe boxes here with my hat club duffel bags and 2 random hats I wore the last 2 days. But Over there, it's a lot of shit, man. I don't know. It's a lot.
How did the whole moving process go? Like, was it?
Oh, it's been terrible,
smooth?
Man.
It's not. Yeah, not usually too fun, right?
I mean, if I was living in a place where I didn't, if I had, decent parking and not a bunch of stairs and neighbors to deal with, like this is San Francisco, so just moving one cart of situations through is like a 20-minute ordeal, and then you go back down. Like it's a mess. So yeah, I don't. This is not for the weak of heart. If you come into the city, yeah, it's something else. But I did find this free ass couch on the street though, brand new leather thing. So
there you go.
I was gonna buy one, and then I found this a week before I moved, and I was like, cancel that order. Oh yeah,
that's a come up, man.
Can't argue with free.
These rich fuckers out here, man, they'll just throw some brand new shit on the streets, man.
I'm surprised it wasn't swooped up already.
Seriously.
Me too, dude. I called the first person I knew with a pickup truck. I was like, man, come get this right now.
Oh man. So moving hats, moving kicks, all that stuff. You got like shared like the life hack of the century in the text chat. I think you need to share it with the people, man.
So I was showing these guys, I was trying to figure out how I was going to move all my shoes. Because like I said, like it's it's one thing if you're moving from like a house to a house, or even like an open air type of, apartment, something where you could just have access without having to deal with, small corridors and almost no parking. So it's like, how am I going to get my hats out without like, worrying about somebody coming and swooping up on my U-Haul and taking my shit, right? So as I've worked in the warehouse for the last couple of years, I said, I'm going to take some pallet wrap. I'm going to just wrap. So this is what, 1, 2, at least 2 are loose, but I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are 8 tall, 2 wide. So I made like 16s of my shoe boxes and wrapped them up so that I can just pick them up with one dolly move, and boom, I got 16 shoes. When other than that, even if I hired movers, they still could probably only carry 3 or 4 boxes at once, So that was the move. So people, if you see this, I originated it, or at least I'm taking credit for it. But as far as moving hats, you get this is just a Hat Club 30 hat duffel bag. You just squish them in there, and if you squish them real good, you may get like 32 hats in there. So I got a couple of those, and got them moving.
It's a good call. Good call. I just realized that I mean, I only have like a real small, like, I don't know, maybe like 6 hat carrier type thing. But I basically just do the box thing and like stack like, rows at a time, like 10, 12 hats and then 10, 12 hats on top. Usually throw like a little piece of cardboard or paper in between just in case, if I can, to keep them separated. But I also realized that as I was digging through the closet a couple days ago, that my biggest thing with moving is I just don't unpack shit. Like, I don't know if that's some sort of deeper conversation about me and my inner self and all that shit, but like, I just don't like open the boxes. Like, I have literally boxes from, I've moved a ton, so I have boxes from like 2008, 2009 sometimes that I haven't even seen in 10, 15 years. Because for a while I didn't have space, and I moved it into storage, and I would do the like, okay, all my shit's in storage. I go to storage every couple of weeks to like fresh up, change out my hats, change out my kicks, come back to the apartment and just go like that. But each time I would move, I moved from, I was in Santa Rosa for a while. I moved to San Diego for a while. I moved to Brooklyn for a job for a while. I moved to Austin, Texas for a while. I was in Boulder, Colorado, Detroit. Like, I've moved everywhere, right? And each time the place that I land is always different, right? Like, we all live in our cars for the most part out here. But when I moved to Brooklyn, I didn't even take my car. I left it, and I left like most of my furniture and stuff that I had at the time in storage, but then also like boxes of shoes, boxes of hats. So for me, I was looking through the closet, and I don't know, I can't even figure out what year this is. So I'm gonna ask you guys to help me. But this is kind of my kicks and fits for today too. But do you remember these? This was like the on-field, probably. I mean, it's dirty as hell because it's white, but
it doesn't look dirty on the camera, that's for sure.
Little Stars and Stripes Batterman, and I got the questions.
Okay,
USA questions. Good little combo there, but I couldn't figure out when this is from, man. Like, it's got to be like, I mean, it was before they started doing all the mesh stuff and all the, like variations. And, they started with like, oh, we're going to do the white with the red bill. And then half the team, American League, or it wasn't even American and national. It was just kind of random that like some teams had the navy bill, some teams had the red bill. Then they did the all red ones. They did the all navy ones. They didn't get too crazy with the USA theme.
That's a 4th of July hat, correct?
Yeah, I think so. From maybe 2010, 2009.
I just found an Angels one, but I can't find a date on it.
But there's variations of it, right? Because the newer Stars and Stripes, check this out. The newer Stars and Stripes.
Every year they have a different one, yeah.
Well, this exact Stars and Stripes only on the logo with the red bill. There's a version where on this one, the older ones like this, the stars are on the one side, right? And then the stripes are on the other. But on the newest version of this, white with a red bill, the stars are up in the corner like they would be on the flag. And then the stripes are normal, like they would be on the flag. So it's see how this stars and the navy goes all the way up and down the SF. The new one's only in the top corner, like it would be on the flag.
Yeah, because I have the one
looking and go ahead, Keith.
Oh, I have the one that's like the navy crown with the red brim, and then the whole SF is like the Stars and Stripes. And I want to say that was 2017, 2018, maybe. I could be wrong on the date, but I know the one that you pulled out right now, that one's from way before that.
Yeah, because remember, they used to only do one special hat on field every year, right?
Yeah.
It was because I remember when I bought the Giants did the Irish Heritage one, and I was like, oh shit, I never seen this before. I got to get this, And it was super basic. It was literally a green hat with the orange SF, no anything special at all. And this is kind of how this one was, that era of they didn't do the on field things. They had all the various colors, kind of like what we talk about, getting into fitteds back in the day with the yellow and red Yankees hats that were everywhere at the time. And all the, every team that was popular had various colors available. And now we're obviously in a different time, but I was trying to think about when that was. And I couldn't find specifically, because there's a few variations of it, but they're way more recent than this hat. And there's interesting that there's no date on the hat either. So I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I was looking up. I couldn't find any dates, but I saw both the variations that you were talking about, and then a bunch of other ones because they do, so I don't know.
Yeah, any listeners, if you know when and where that hat is from.
We need a hat historian out here. Somebody come help us.
Right. Yeah, we need to start documenting this stuff for people so they can get this information. But
Crown and Stitch database.
There you go.
That'd be dope.
There you go.
Yeah. But yeah, it got me thinking about all the different, things that have changed recently, because we just got so many options now, and for a while there, it was you had to be dedicated. And I remember me and my buddy Aaron would, each year we'd be like, oh, he's an A's fan. I'm a Giants fan. We go scoop up whatever the on field, 4th of July or USA, whatever it was, Stars and Stripes version. And I remember getting them every year. And then when I think the 4th or 5th year into it. So I got the Navy, I got the red, the white with the red. I think I have a white with a navy, and then they kind of switched and they did like the like pinwheel, and that was kind of like the last. I don't think I got the pinwheel release, but that was kind of like the end of an era for fitteds to me because it switched so much, and you started seeing side patches pop up in the next few years. So,
hey, now that you brought that up, I have a question. How do you guys feel about pinwheel hats?
I don't have a problem with them. Depends on the color and how it's done. I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm like seeking them, like how we talked about the pill hats, like, or the pill box hats. Like, you know, some people really like them. Some people obviously hate them. Like, if I see like, I like corduroy, right? So if I see the same hat basic and then it's in corduroy, I just seeing the corduroy and it will make me want to buy it. I would not say the same thing about a pinwheel hat. Like, it's got to somehow stand out and be super dope and unique to make me be like, oh shit, I must spend my money on you.
Yeah, I kind of, so I'm not a big fan of the corduroy, but the pinwheel to me, the problem is I generally would not choose to wear it compared to another hat that's kind of more traditional, right? Like, I'm thinking of like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, when I think of the pinwheel hat, the first hat that comes to mind is the Expos. And I think that is one of the greatest logos of all time, most classic fitteds of all time. But like, when I think of like the Giants, for instance, like, you know, if there's a white, black, and orange pinwheel Giants hat sitting on the shelf for me, like more than 9 times out of 10, I'm picking just the classic, you know, give me a cool SF logo with a side patch, black with orange. That's just my nature. I also think, like, especially seeing this hat, and it might not show on camera as much, but because white is so hard to keep clean, especially like, you know, I mean, it's in the 30s and 40s at night here in Sacramento right now, but up until like 2 weeks ago, it was still in the hundreds. You know, we were still hitting upper 90s. So like, I'm sweating. So like, those hats they're not staying white. They're turning yellow. They're, you know, if I'm wearing a white hat, it's getting like, it's going through things, you know, where like a black hat just sustains that. It's not as tough on it. So I think that also weighs into my, you know, thought on it. Like, I'm not against them by any means, but it's just not for me.
Yeah. No, I'm kind of the same way. Like, I think I own maybe one pinwheel hat. It's like a white and orange Giants hat. And I bought it pretty early on in the collection. You know what I mean? It's like, now that I've accumulated some more hats, it's like, it's not something I'm seeking out, but I'm not 100% against them either. But when you say it though, it's like, I don't see that many that catch my eye in the first place. Like, if I see a pinwheel hat, I think New Era did like one of their just caps drops recently was a pinwheel, and I'm like, like, I like the colors, but it's not something I'm, you know, jumping out of the window for.
That makes me think, like, do you like, what are some of the hats that you've picked up in the last couple years that you just haven't worn, or just don't, like, you pass it up every time, you know? Cause like, I don't know, like, for me, like, I get stuff and I'm like, okay, I'm going to wear this, but then I end up not wearing it more often than not.
The first one that comes to my mind is I have an A's hat. It's just like all green. This is the swinging A's logo, you know, the yellow with the little, and I love it. It looks beautiful, but I mean, just the fact that I'm a Giants fan, like, it's not that I'm against wearing an A's hat, but it's just like you said, it's like, it's not my go-to. It's like, if I have, you know, 10, 15 other green hats, and it doesn't have a side patch, which I think actually looks good on that hat to be, you know, not have any side patch or anything, but that's one off the top where I'm just like, it tends to get passed over, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely have a couple of A's hats like that where it's like, you know, I've worn them a couple times, but I just don't wear them near as much.
Yeah.
Usually if I pass up on a hat, it's because it didn't fit right. And I've tried to make it fit, and it's just like, I don't know. I got a weird shaped head, and some hats fit really, really, really good, and some fit really, really, really bad. But beyond that, these are two hats that I bought around the same time that I bought because I was like, oh shit, that's dope. I want to have it. But then I got them. I was like, yeah, I got them. I'm glad to have them, but I don't really want to walk around with them on my head. And one of them is this, which I think, like my homie was telling me he was trying to find one of these. He's like, he just can't find one. I was like, oh, I found it pretty easy, but I'll try to help him find one. Cannot find this Tampa Smokers hat right here with the cigar on there, the little bleezy. And then this fucker right here, which we've talked about already before. It's the hamburger fucking hat with the fries, the ketchup on the tip. I've never worn this out in my life. I don't know if I ever will, but like I wanted it. But like, what the fuck am I going to? What do I wear with this? Seriously,
like a that's
like with that. You got to go to like a.
Oh, I'm not wearing a Padres jersey. Forget about that.
Now you got to get yourself into like a hamburger eating contest. You know, like how they do that hot dog eating contest. We got to find a hamburger eating contest.
I can just show up with that. Unless they're like, if I can eat some sliders. I probably can knock down like 8-10 sliders, but a full blown,
there you go,
like full hamburger, dude. Because I want my hamburger. I need some fucking onions, some onion rings, some bacon, some sauce. Like, I want my burger to be a whole meal. You know.
No, you could do sliders though. Yo, you're in the industry, man. You got the connection. You could make this a thing. We could sponsor a slider eating contest.
Damn, the Crown and Stitch slider eating contest.
Keith, how many sliders can you eat? Yeah, and you got 30 minutes.
Probably about the same. I would say like around 10 if I really pushed it. But I don't even want to think about food right now, to be honest. I'm still not feeling it, bro.
I gotta say that hat is really like the colors are dope on it. Like, I mean, it's definitely something that I would probably want to buy but not wear as well.
Yeah.
But like just the way that the colors are on the hat is pretty dope because you just don't see that very often. You know, I think like
yellow
one thing
and brown though, that combo of yellow and brown just
You know what, Dexter? I think it was like last week, the week before, someone dropped that Smokers hat again because I saw it and I thought the same thing. I'm like, damn, that's a dope ass hat, but I couldn't picture myself wearing it. You know what I mean? And it's like,
well, I think I don't wear it. I think because when I got it, as you can see, it's a 7.5. It just doesn't fit as well. And I was like, I'll make it work. Because I have a lot of 7.5s, but like, you know, every hat's made differently. Some 7.5/8 fit small, some fit big, some 7.5s fit small, some fit big. And this one is like, I have to get one of those like hat stretchers because it's just a little too snug.
Yeah.
And that's why I just don't wear it that much. Also, I just didn't think it was as rare as I guess it is because I tried to find him. I was like, I can get you one of those. I couldn't even find one on eBay for less than like $300. I was like, the
for
fuck?
Real?
Like, why? Yeah, I was like, why is this so in demand? I had no idea, dude.
There's a lot of smokers out there. That's why.
There is a lot of smokers out there. This is true.
Yeah. Oh man. I mean, it does look like there's only one left, but a size 7 1/8 on a Hat Heaven, a red and white.
That's where I saw it.
Red and black version of it.
Yeah, who the hell wears a 7 8 and a seventh grader?
Yeah.
In fact, I think I wore a 7 3/8 when I was in seventh grade. You got to be like a fifth grader or a lady.
Yep, it's definitely a small size. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of crazy. I wonder what that's about the craziest I've seen a hat is about 300, 350. Like, what's the craziest like sticker shock you've seen looking for a hat?
About the same. I think like max, like I've seen some people like list them at like 400, but I've seen them, 6 months at the same price and then they end up dropping, like, no, I don't think anyone's buying a hat for 350, 400. I mean, maybe some people are, but if I see that, I don't even look at that. Like I'm scrolling on.
So I'm going to sound like an old man here, but do you guys remember when they came out with fitted hats and they were black and then they came out with like, obviously not gold, but it was probably brass or whatever the hell, like the logo would be like just a metallic plate. So they had like the metallic A and like the metallic SF. And this was probably 2008, 2009 that they came out with that. And I remember like those were the first hats I ever saw for $50. And I was like, man, who the fuck's paying $50 for a hat? Crazy. And then I remember like later on being like, damn, I kind of want that hat. And we're looking on the eBay of the day, right? And I saw one for like $200. I was like, what? Like, get the fuck out of here. Fast forward a year, they came out with ones that had like crystals on them because this was like the big gold chain days. So like it went from just having the metallic logo to now you have the metallic with like encrusted jewel, bullshit on there, probably just rhinestones. I remember like those going for like 75 and being like, get the fuck. I never looked on eBay for that. But I was like, nobody was. They'll sat on shelves forever, dude. It's like nobody's paying $75 for an A's hat with some bullshit stones on it. But
I have
just think about what a 200. See, he remembers.
Not the crystal ones. I had a Warriors hat that had that big ass metallic logo on the front, and it was the heaviest hat in the world. Like it almost broke my neck when it on. It was bad times.
But just
Keith's
think
just
about
walking
like,
around,
dude,
the hat just keeps coming down, falling.
Like,
so heavy,
looking like Cameron and them. Dipset. Damn, Keith, what size that hat? 8 3/4.
That's how it felt, man. That shit was heavy.
But just think about 2008, 2009, a $200 hat on eBay. Like the inflation has to be like at least a $400 hat now.
At least, yeah, for sure. Too much. Yeah. I'll tell you that much. That's too much for a hat.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm trying to cut back. To be honest, I spent too much on it. I say that now and then we'll be unboxing shit here next episodes. But
man, I have been cutting back. Like, what was the last episode I've had a new pickup on? It's been at least one of my own pickups. It's been a minute. I don't think I bought a hat in the past 2 months. It's been a while.
You gotta be smart about it through the holidays, though. You got other priorities.
That's what happened. I was off work for a while with this broken ankle, and the disability money is not the same as a regular paycheck. So I'm like, and it was right before I told myself I was going to start saving up for the holidays too. And then that's always how it works, though.
Yo, what's up with the softball league? Did you guys come through and win the championship, or
they lost the championship game?
Oh man, because you were pressure.
That's the story I tell myself in my head. At least that makes me feel a little bit better. But yeah, they won the first playoff game, lost the championship. But there was some shiesty stuff going on. I heard a little bit of rule stuff.
Uh oh.
Yeah,
got some Houston Astros out there, huh?
Man, so how like all the bats now were like composite. It's like they don't have like the metal aluminum bats. Supposedly in the championship game, the other team, there's some rule where you can make the other team and you all have to use aluminum bats. And so I guess they couldn't use any of their own bats and stuff like that. So I've never heard of it.
Damn.
What?
Yeah, so I wasn't there.
Keith is out here playing in like the serious like softball leagues.
No. This is the lowest level of Monday night in Pleasanton, California. The talent level is, I will say
you guys are out there weighing bats before people step into the batter's box.
doing some George Brett shit. Too much pine tar on the bat.
I saw some dude. He might have looked like a scout, and that's what I told myself. But I don't think you'll see me on any AA affiliate, single A, any of that shit anytime soon. So or ever.
About to be Keith Harper out here. He's about to be in the World Series next year.
If I am, tag me on Instagram. Give me a shout out if you listen to the pod.
All right. Well, let's wrap with that because we didn't talk about this, but we got to talk about the World Series. 2 games apiece now, Astros and the Phillies. Who you guys got?
Oh, Astros won tonight? I didn't watch any of it.
I threw a no-hitter.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
I wish I was joking.
Oh, no. I want to say the
Phillies.
I'm
mid-podcasting and I look at my phone and see it up there. I'm like, no. What? I was like,
damn.
I looked, threw a no-hitter. Obviously not one person because they don't let people pitch like, the 90s anymore. But A team collaborative no-hitter.
Yo.
My heart says the Phillies. I want the Phillies to win because, I mean, sorry if this offends anyone, but I don't think anyone outside of the state of Texas likes the Astros. But I will say the Astros on paper, talent-wise, their team is much, much better. But I would prefer if the Phillies won. But since the Giants aren't in it, I don't really have a serious rooting interest.
Yeah, I honestly don't care who wins or loses. Holy shit, the Lakers just hit a 3-pointer in the corner to tie the game, go to overtime. My God. Who is that? Who is number 37? It was like a big, mean white dude. What's his name? Ryan is his last name. Nolan Ryan Jr. I don't know. So, yeah, I don't care who wins or loses. I kind of do want Bryce Harper to win the World Series because he's such a good player. I remember watching him, following him since he was like, LeBron level in high school. And, just somebody that good, like you shouldn't have anybody trying to discredit your historical greatness because you just, don't do it in, the half a month of the playoffs that there is. But also I want Dusty Baker to win one because he's old and he's OG Giant. He's already had a heart attack and a stroke. Like he's out here just hoping and praying for one. So I wouldn't be mad either way.
What about you, Nick?
Yeah. I mean, that just made me think, like, you saw Bochy signed with the Rangers. What?
We all knew he was coming back, but I thought he was going to come back with the Padres. That's where
that's what I thought.
That's where he's like, you went back to San Diego. What the fuck you go to Texas now for? You're too old for this shit, dude.
Yeah.
Texas sucks,
I mean,
bad.
I'm kind of with you on Dusty, man. It would be nice to see him get a ring. He definitely has some tough losses especially in his managerial career. But I mean, I don't want to say I'm like a big Bryce Harper fan because I think I'm a fan of his ability.
It's kind of douchey,
him as an
right?
individual. Yeah, he kind of comes across as a dick. But I also, like he was one of the first. So I have written about sports and sneakers and all this stuff for a really long time. And him coming up, in, I don't know, 2008, 9, 10, somewhere in there. He was one of the first like baseball players I got to actually write a little bit about. And I was writing for East Bay catalogs at the time. And I think it's still on their blog, but it's kind of cool to see him still. Like it was him and Steven Strasburg coming up around that same time. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, oh, these two are the future of the game. Obviously they've had their ups and downs since, but he's definitely a player that deserves to have that ring and to have that, like, like you said, nobody questioning his skills based on, oh, you didn't win a championship. Cause I think that's like one of the corniest arguments anybody ever makes. It's just
they don't make it as much in baseball. Usually baseball is way more about just how long you played and what you did. But still, like now they're kind of, since now they're, the playoffs have expanded so much, like they're kind of starting to do that. But they do that a lot in basketball.
Basketball is the worst.
Basketball is the worst. Like Charles Barkley, like, oh, you won a championship. It's like, motherfucker, well, look at everything else I did. Like, who the hell did I have with me? Dan Marley? What the fuck?
Yeah. Yep. Oh, man. All right, guys. Well, another show in the books. Good to catch up with y'all. Let's let the people know how they can find you outside of the episode.
You can find me at Keep the Sneak, 2Ks at the end on almost every social media platform. I'm not on TikTok yet, but maybe you'll get a Crown and Stitch TikTok soon.
He's probably getting
already there waiting.
OnlyFans with hot ankle pics.
Swollen ankle pics. Be on the lookout.
Dude, there's a niche for everyone and everything.
That would creep me out if I knew that anyone followed my OnlyFans about my ankle.
People following you around,
ankle fans,
taking pictures of the booth.
Oh,
ankle fans.
Well, Dexter here, Smooth as Eggs on Everything, industry special podcast, which I have fired back up now that I've moved back to the city. I'm in this big drafty loft, which is surprisingly not cold, either because I have a 65-inch TV running at the same time, a big super desktop with this screen and laptop. Got a lot of shit going. Maybe that's what it is. Electric bill's probably gonna be out the roof. But yeah, follow me on everything. Also, before Nick says it, Sneaker History Discord. Come join the crew, the fam. We talk about a bunch of shit in there: shoes, hats, food, snacks, everything, cars, vroom, vroom, all that good shit.
Everything. Yeah, and make sure you follow at Crown and Stitch on all the platforms. You can follow me at Nick Engvall on all the platforms. Almost forgot my own name there for a second. It's getting late, and we've been talking about food, so now I'm hungry again. But thanks for listening and rocking with us. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace, y'all.
Later.
Peace.